Yeah, yeah, I heard you. I heard you. When you speed it up, you won't even notice because you'll be. I'll tell them. Okay, when you time lapse it, you won't even notice it, but we'll stay out the way. Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, can you turn on my mic? Do it. Yeah, we'll do it properly. I'll put the phone down and we'll do it properly.
Top one, so
Right, should we do a little bit of... It's fine, we're ready to go. It's fine. Still not getting the mic. Hang on a second.
I might double hit that.
No, I've got a joke in terms of the blue Peter. Here's one I made earlier, so it's fine. We can run the meeting. Yeah. Yeah.
People have got
Chef steps, great. And you've got them walking in as well today. Fine, okay. Fine.
When do they start doing that time lapse? Now? Doing it now? We'll all be in it then. Hello, Richard. You're in more children. Yeah, no.
Okay, so
big box or something.
Yes, exactly. We'll do it as well. Exactly. Yeah, 2 seconds. So I also have. Chelsea Old Town Hall in London, where we are in the middle
It's a bit tricky because there are so many people moving in front of me. Fed, confirming you're off my shot? Well, I hope you're not on my shot right now. I think that was me asking if you were still on my shot. Okay. Yeah. Like that? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm literally live. Yeah, this shot is literally live, being output right now. Okay. 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 Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, it's all good. Of course, I don't want to get in your way as well.
No, me too.
Yeah,
I
no.
know everyone is working. I need to get some pictures.
No, of course, yeah.
I mean, from the organizer.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Okay.
In this very
So I'm looking forward to it.
yes, and
Ok, così non inquadriamo niente. Arrivare in tempo. Siamo era un po' troppo basso, cos'era?
No, aveva fatto lì, troppo grande e una era uguale a due.
Sì.
One of the main team here, which is Leo, who is one of the chefs that has been here all day, is actually guiding the piping that is going on here because we need to make sure that it is perfect. Now, I have to say, it is not as easy as Claudio at the moment is making it happen. Yesterday, they made it happen.
quella riga lì, quella maledetta plastica.
Am I out of vision?
So that was me yesterday having a go at piping on top of the tiramisu, and it was difficult, I have to say. As you could see, it didn't actually work out very well. Yeah. So we just lost the sound. There is a lot going on here today, so we may at times break up or lose pictures. We have got a wide shot of the cake that is going on here today. As I was saying, there are a lot of celebrities involved in attracting people to donate money to get a slice of the cake a little later on. There are some celebrity chefs here as well who we will catch up with a little later, but I just want to bring you back to the cake because the tiramisu is the main thing. So if we take a look now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 main lanes. That's what I'm going to call them, lanes of cake. And the important thing is that they're all joined up. So it is like a motorway where each bit is joined up by cocoa and of course the cream, and it is slowly building up, and you can see there is a lot more attention. A lot of the media are here and more tables are coming in. So you can see that tables are being brought in, and each table is holding about 4 of the actual lanes of tiramisu. Now we have to say that for this record that it is to be broken, they're going to have to get over 273.5 metres, because that is the record that was set in Italy back in 2019. And all of the chefs here are hoping that they can break the 300-metre mark. So they are hoping, fingers crossed, to be able to actually get that record. Now, I mentioned there were some celebrities with us. None bigger today than Gennaro. Gennaro, you are Mr. Italy when it comes to chefs. You taught Jamie Oliver everything he knew, really, didn't you?
Oh, not everything, not everything. But you know, he was already a talented boy. Actually, he comes from a family which had a restaurant. We just say helped.
Yes. Can he make a good tiramisu?
Jamie is making a fantastic tiramisu. Believe me, I know for sure.
So, why are you here today?
Well, to be part of this Italian team, you know, the longest tiramisu in the world. And how do you say? It is no goal. It is a proudness of the country, and the respect of all the chefs, and the celebrations of this beautiful dessert, which it is the tiramisu. So I'm here because I'm part of it. I cannot escape. You know, tiramisu is on us, on every Italian chef family, and that's mother's making it.
We were talking earlier about how every mum, every grandmother in Italy has a recipe for tiramisu. Same in your family?
Oh my God! Italy works like that. Right. You go to eat somebody tiramisu, and you say, "Wow, this is so good," and you really enjoy. I said, "Well, you see." And then the next door said, "That tiramisu was really good. Yeah, can I let you try mine?" So you try that one. Oh my God, it's so good. And then you enjoy. And then next door said, "Okay, you try the other two. Come around to me." And this is all about be proud. Italy. When we're talking about almost everything, we express ourselves through the food. So the tiramisu is part of the national flag. When I learned how to make a tiramisu, I cannot remember. And every chef makes his own version, but it's always exactly the same.
So, is your recipe similar to your mum's recipe?
No, she will tell me this is rubbish. Let me show you how to do it properly.
Would she? Would she really?
Of course she will. She was especially with my father. My father, they all passed it away. When I used to cook something, I said, "Yeah, it's very good," and you forgot to do that. And I made it now, it doesn't taste the same. And then after the blue, after you finished to eat, you done it, you know, you learned. I'm in the kitchen for the last 30, 14 years. What do you mean I learned? It's all right, you need a little bit more this. and have understood what this is. And then you ask them a recipe to your mother or your father, all right, how do you done that? And they would tell, oh, you put just a little bit of this, just a little bit of that, but how much of this and that? Oh, look at me, look, boom, real. They never tell you the full recipe, the secret of full recipe, because they don't know. They do.
Is it inbuilt in you?
It's inbuilt, so it's in you. You know, how much salt you put inside? I just put a bit of salt in it. How much? And my father and say somebody, oh, you know, that the water have to be salty like seawater. That is rubbish. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can use seawater, but for every liter of seawater, you have to have at least 700 grams of water and 300 grams of sweet water. No,
so,
the other way around.
Okay, so that's pasta. Tiramisu, what is your recipe for a good tiramisu? If someone was watching us now live on BBC iPlayer, what is your perfect recipe for a tiramisu?
It's quite easy. Make sure you get nice mascarpone, leave the mascarpone out at least a couple hours, because if you take it straight away from the fridge, it's too tough. You want to use a bit of cream? Maybe, and then use cream. And also, you mix the mascarpone with the yolk of eggs.
Is that what makes the difference?
Yes, and also, don't forget, the white of egg, you mix it to it, it becomes light or fluffy in a way, and then you have a very good biscuit. Savoiardi is the best. Dipping inside a good coffee. The coffee you love, you drinking, you dip them inside, don't just leave it. Drop them inside, lifting up. And don't forget, inside the coffee, just make sure you use a lovely bittersweet wine.
Yes, so we've been having this discussion as to whether a tiramisu has to have the alcohol in it.
Well, I put always the alcohol, but as I said, you tell them a different amount. Don't put no alcohol inside. You ask the other different amount. You need this special alcohol inside. You ask the different amount. Mix well with the coffee inside here. One person knows how to make a tiramisu, which I wanted to introduce you, which is a pastissier come from 2 generations of pasticciere. He knows how to make tiramisu. He won also Giuseppe.
Yes, Giuseppe, come in. Let's have both of you in.
He won the master
I might
chef.
as well have two celebrity chefs with me. So, Giuseppe, you won, as we know, a very big competition here in the UK. I'm interested in the way that the Italian culture is coming into the British way of life, because if we were thinking about where you would make the world's longest tiramisu, you'd think it'd be Italy, but it's here in London. What do you make of that and how the culture has changed?
I think it's the best place to do something like this, because London has got the largest Italian population outside of Italy as a city. So our representation here is already phenomenal to start with. And I think what's fantastic about this event is that there are over 100 chefs here. They're not all Italian. There are British people helping out. So it's a genuinely a joint effort between the two countries to do something like this. And I think it's great that it's in such a beautiful room, bang in the middle of central London.
But also here, don't forget, in England, they love tiramisu. Everybody go inside the restaurant, and when you present, because we make incredible dessert, but one thing at a restaurant, do you have any tiramisu? They love it, because it's the simplicity to make the tiramisu.
Yes.
It's hardly anything.
So we were talking about this, Giuseppe. The fact is, you don't need really cooking skills in the sense that there's no oven involved or anything like that. That helps, doesn't it?
100%. I think that tiramisu is responsible single-handedly for getting me into the baking world, because this is the very first cake I learned how to make when I was 12 years old. And the person who taught me was my cousin, which was the same age as me. So you've got there two toddlers talking to each other and playing with eggs and sugar, and that's the result.
We were talking about how important the tiramisu is in family histories in Italy. The fact that we've heard that his mum called personally the best and everything like that. Is that the same for in your household, in your generation?
Definitely, 100%. And I have to say that desserts like tiramisu have got a special place in my heart because I love all those recipes that have got a very short ingredients list, rather than the very sophisticated things that are very Instagrammable these days. And you can make with bowl and fork, like my grandma used to make. So it's a fantastic example of how simplicity always wins.
How have you managed to cope with the size of this tiramisu?
I still haven't, I don't think. In fact, I'm looking forward to see it all laid out. We've seen it in the fridge, but it's going to be phenomenal to see it all laid out, filling up almost the entirety of this room. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there is going to be a very special message.
Yes, I've heard that you two are in on this, aren't you?
Yes.
I'd heard it was to do with the king and the royal family, but that's all I've heard.
Yeah. I am sure they like the tiramisu.
How important is the connection between the two nations?
Well, it is very important. Unity is so important. It's like a family being all together, share everything together. And Italy is a country, include other countries as well in Europe, sharing. It's like pizza. When you put a pizza on a table, you cut it and you share it. And the tiramisu is exactly the same. Two countries together, grab.
Yeah.
Grab something that really love it, and they want to do them as well.
That is an important part, isn't it? The fact that, nations come together over food, we all sit down. But I have to address the elephant in the room, the calories.
Okay. Yes. Well, tiramisu, you know what it means. It's
pick me up, doesn't it?
Exactly. So it is designed to be very calorific, very energetic. And that's what you should be using it for. When I was a kid, eggs beaten with sugar was the zabaione, was my mom's go-to breakfast.
You have to bring a coffee inside, with a coffee inside. But what he says, come on, my little boy, come on, and zabaione right away, go click, with the sugar, a lovely cafetiere, a little bit of coffee, and then and that video. Look at that, nearly 18. Fantastic.
My mom would be jailed if she did the same thing today, because she fed me coffee when I was like 4 years old. But it didn't make that many damages.
No. So it's the tiramisu, the word tiramisu pick you up. So everybody and the body, you need that lift, especially when you're done or anything, you're tired. Try a little bit of tiramisu with the coffee and the sugar inside and the mascarpone, the egg, the white of eggs, and the alcohol inside. As soon as you put it inside your mouth, you like to have that lovely old age brandy. You put it, wow! This is what tiramisu is.
Yes, and
it's just a little bit, not too much.
Of course, and Giuseppe, it's brought everyone together here over the last. I came down yesterday and I described it as organised chaos with everybody building. And what have you made of the teams that are behind us and doing the final dusting of the chocolate and making sure that it all fits together so they can break the world record?
It's a very eclectic team. So there are people that have flown over from Italy just for this. There are British people, there are Italians, and people that have never worked together. So we have literally come together around the tiramisu. As you say, it is organised chaos, but after all, it's been organised by Italians. What do you expect?
And do you think they're going to break the world record?
I hope so, because we put a lot of effort into it. We put our heart and soul into this tiramisu, and I would be very disappointed if that wasn't the case.
Gennaro, do you think they're going to beat the record?
Of course! Come on! We already beat the record anyway, we know what it's about.
And have you tasted it yet?
Yes, I had a little sneak inside. Because I said to me, chef, taste this, chef. So everyone, it all tastes the same.
Is it approved?
Approved. is over-approved.
I was quite interested earlier because I saw you earlier on today with your espresso, just how many of the younger chefs wanted their picture taken with you and to meet you and say hi. How important is it passing on that knowledge that you've got down to future chefs?
Well, it is very, very important. You give them a lift. You explain to them that to be a chef is not that easy. To be a chef, you don't want to become a celebrity. I'm going to become. To be a chef.
You are the biggest celebrity chef in the area. Was that an accident? It just happened?
Happened. My job was to go inside the kitchen and make people happy through the cuisine I was doing. And everything else happened slowly. And I do appreciate, in a way, it's good because I can pass it on to young chefs that can give them a job for the future and that can give them lots of love and passion. Most of everything, respect, a celebration of every kind of ingredient you have. Respect the ingredients, because today in this world it's not easy to get at everything. When you handle something, drive on communications, you and your ingredient you use, put your heart in it. Celebrate it, like a fish come from the sea. Which way I'm going to cook it? Celebrate that fish, because once it was free in the sea, now they give it to you, and you have to cook at the best of your knowledge. And this is what all these young boys and girls, they want to become a chef. First of all, passion, and then you have the heart, put it inside your heart in it. Believe me, you don't want to be a celebrity, you just want to cook.
Yeah, and ingredients really important.
Very important in ingredient. You want to taste. Don't just put everything inside your mouth, what this, what that. You cook the beans, taste the beans. You cook meat, taste the meat. Tiramisu, taste the tiramisu.
and Giuseppe, you won a very high-profile program in this country. How has that changed your life?
Well, entirely. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for baking. Effectively, what it did for me is that it turns a hobby and a passion into a business, into a job. So I'm a professional baker, people say these days.
Do you still have to pinch yourself when you hear that?
100%. Every now and then, especially when you are just about to wake up, when you're in that zone, and you're thinking, did that really happen? Or have I just dreamt of winning Bake Off a few years ago?
We mentioned with Geralda how important ingredients is. I suppose the thing with the tiramisu is they are basic ingredients, aren't they?
Yeah, they're coupled things, so everybody has them. And when I moved to the UK 25 years ago, it was difficult to find mozzarella in the supermarket.
Yes, not now.
Not anymore. And it's very easy to find very good quality mascarpone as well these days. And you guys have got really, really good cream, really, really good cheese, really, really good eggs if you pick the right ones. And that's all that matters. That's all you need for making a fantastic tiramisu.
Well, thank you both for joining us live on BBC News. I know you're going to be here till the very end to see what happens.
Exactly.
We may catch up with you later after they've won the record. But thank you very much for talking to us live on BBC News. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Giuseppe, as well. Thank you very much. We'll let you go because I know there's lots of people who want to talk to you. So two of the celebrity chefs who are here with us today at the world record attempt for the longest tiramisu. If you are just joining us, you are with BBC News Live, and we are here, and the tiramisu has grown a lot over the last 30 minutes or so, I have to say. We've probably got Cake Cam where we can look at what the cake is doing at the moment, and it is getting a lot bigger, and it's going to need to be because the current record is 273.5 metres. That was set back in Italy in 2019, and the chefs here are hoping, fingers crossed, to beat the 300-metre mark. And if you are just for this, let me explain the process. What is happening at the moment is that all of the chefs. If Mark follows me with this camera, we'll give you an idea of what is happening, because there are lots of tables that are coming out, and these are the tables that, of course, the tiramisu will have to go on. But it starts life over here, where they are piled up. And now what's happened over the last 24 or 48 hours or so is that they have been putting together the tiramisu. We've had dozens and dozens of chefs working with amazing quantities of food, 150,000 biscuits, I think off the top of my head, the sponge fingers that have gone into it. 3,000 eggs, from the top of my memory, have also gone into it. And what's happened is they built them up into these sections. So each of these sections has been kept overnight in refrigeration. And of course that's been an issue for the team here, because they are working in Chelsea Old Town Hall. So they've had to have refrigeration vans outside to keep it cool, and then they make all the sections which has been going on, and then once the section has been made, each one is brought out to connect to the giant tiramisu that is on the tables here. And what is important, and the judges from the Guinness World Record are here, really important is the fact that it is connected, because the rules allow you to make the sections, but the rules also mean that those sections have to be connected. And a little earlier on, some of the judges were going, they're not quite connected. So a lot of the chefs are running around with piping bags to make sure that the piping of the cream and the mascarpone cheese is there, so that they are connected. So at the end, when those judges from the Guinness World Record go round, they aren't going to see any gaps in the tiramisu, so that it can hopefully beat the world record. There are a couple of other rules. So for example, it has to be 8 centimeters high, 15 centimeters long, and the chefs here taking it very seriously. I saw a little earlier on, one of the head chefs, Leonardo, was out with a tape measure, making sure that it was exactly the length that it should have been. And they bring them all out and pass them over, and we've got lots of chocolate which is going to go on the top, and of course the chocolate has to be sieved, so there are piles and piles of chocolate here which are then taken over in a sieve, and it is sieved on top of those sections of tiramisu that were put together over the last 24-48 hours. And the team will be hoping that when the judges do finally get to look at all of it connected, that they will break the world record. Now, the guy who organised this is called Mirko, and Mirko used to have the world record, so he originally set the world record for the longest tiramisu back in 2017. Then there was another team of Italian chefs that broke it in 2019, so he was determined to break the record, which is why he's put together this team of chefs here in London to spread, he said, the happiness to the United Kingdom. And we heard from Gennaro and Giuseppe that there is going to be a surprise when it's all put together. Now, we don't know what that surprise is, other than when I was talking to Mirko yesterday, he was talking about the importance and how they're going to dedicate it to the King and the royal family. So it may have something to do with the royal family. We don't know at the moment, so that is why you need to stay with us live here on BBC News as we count down, hopefully, to the world record being broken for the world's longest tiramisu. Now, Fed, who is my director, we have a camera that is up overlooking the whole of the auditorium, and what we're going to do is for a couple of minutes leave you with those pictures so that you can see exactly the amount of activity that is going on here in Chelsea Old Town Hall, and I'll be back with more guests in a couple of minutes' time. I don't know which one. Could you ask Fed to get Scar to call me again?
That one. Which mic are you using?
Can Scar call me? I've lost IFB.
Also, can you get Stein?
I've completely lost
You're doing it. We're going to do it now. He's giving the number to him now. Which mic are we using? Use this one. Get that one. I'll dump that.
chef to the Guinness. I was on MasterChef the professional. That's amazing. Yeah, that's right. That one is it. I need IFB and get the stars.
Also, we need. This is connected to this camera.
This one is.
So the microphone you will see. Yeah, that's mic 1. It's mic 1 for camera 1. Well, we still need our
Yeah, sorry, my IFB card's on. Thank you. Cheers, thanks. Yeah, I can hear you. Hello, Mocha.
We have Sir Gavin Williamson.
Okay, I'm not allowed to do politicians. Sorry. Otherwise I would. I'm just not allowed to do politicians because of the elections that are going on. Gavin will understand.
Okay, and Esharelife Foundation.
Yes, sure I can do. Yes, and can I talk to you as well, Mocha? Is that right? Yes, of course. So, right, I need to ask you what's coming up next. Okay, thanks. Judges next.
Judges
And
next.
then the guy from the charity.
It's not that, it's my back. That pain was built in the building.
A lot of pack, not sure what's going on. Thank you. I'll just watch it.
My name is Marco with a C.
Ah, yes, we spoke on. Great. I think we spoke No, wait, we have.
Many high. Many hairs. Many hairs. Many hairs in the past.
We're BBC. The only live player on BBC London. They've got a live page, so website, social, and then this morning we have some previews, but maybe some right now we're live, largely online.
Okay, yes. No, but I meant you have to be like more of a live.
Yes, it's live. It's live. We don't. My team only does live. So yeah, all of this right now. He's live right now. Everything's live.
Yeah, it's not so fucking live because it's not like that. It's not.
Immersive. Yeah.
I think there's so much going on.
Alright, he's going to do him real quick. Yeah. Charity. I did wonder
And of course, you know the decoration guy.
yes, so he's the one that I've been in contact with like the whole time. I see, well, that's great, you can tell us about I mean, it's a lot of
some concept has been achieved at the moment. It's wow. We're going to be in that. It's yeah, they need to take all of, you know, like portions of it. Places.
But you're kind of describe the height and the way it's connected and such like.
Yeah, in the beginning it was
Lasagna è buona.
Saluto i miei amici cadiatesi dal Tiramisu più lungo del mondo.
Is the Guinness World Record actually
Quella giapponese l'hai fatta?
Yes, it's going to be Mirko, so me opening, introduced to Mirko,
Okay.
the ambassador of Italy and the institution. This will be very quick. And they measure. These happens twice they are measuring it. Then I think there is like, if we win, there is like the national anthem. Then they cut it. Then we go actually, the judges will speak here.
Okay.
Just saying.
So can I give you this because you're first?
Is it ready enough?
Yes.
Do you have? Should I keep this one because I keep talking and then I pass the other one?
Yes.
Maybe? Okay, fine.
Oh no, that's not charged.
Okay, fine. I can find you in a second.
Okay.
It is here. But...
Other way around. Sorry. I said, I don't want the camera. You have to go from behind. What is that? USB-C? I've got my own one. When they start talking, it's going to go into the camera. Just so you know, it's coming out of your camera, which means that you have to show it.